this is Tanya with Scribbles in Time. I wanted to kind of come on and try to do a very quick video. This is going to be hard to make it quick. As you can see, this is a very thick journal. But I wanted to kind of explain how my passion for journaling started. Just to kind of summarize it very quickly, my son, every year for his birthday, I always say my son has such a sweet soul. I love him so dearly. But every year for his birthday, which falls on December 27th, he always asks for me to write a journal and tell some type of story, either from my childhood or from what I've done that year. But every year for his birthday, he always wants me to write up a journal for him and give to him on his birthday. And I wish I had some of those down here with me. I would be able to show them, but they were just basically very simple blank journals that I would just write in, nothing more than that. And usually I would tell either stories about my childhood or just memories of what I'd done that year. But anyway, about 3 years ago, me and my husband were able to start traveling. And we went to France. And when we got home from France, I wanted to do the kind of the old school thing and print out pictures versus actually just having digital pictures. So I went and printed out pictures and did a whole little photo album kind of thing from our trip to France. It's dusty. And then we've made several other trips. We had went to Germany in the beginning of 2018. I believe it was around March of 2018. We went to Germany. And again, I did just a very basic photo album. Never really thought about doing more than that. It just never occurred to me. And we were going to Jerusalem in December, going on a trip to the Holy Land, and we were sitting in the airport. So I immediately got on Etsy and started kind of looking around for some type of photo album so that when we got back from our trip, we would have something to put our photos in. And while we were sitting there and I was looking for photo albums, my son's birthday was coming up, so I was also looking for some type of cool book to journal for his birthday in. So I had all of this on my mind while we were waiting, and as I was just kind of putting in words on Etsy to search for something, I came across the junk journals. So that kind of just explains to you how I stumbled across this and this passion. And I just wanted to kind of give y'all a visual of where I was at. This was the very beginning of December 2018. So I did order a junk journal, and I put in I did a custom order, and I put in a request for the book plate to, state that it was our family memories of our trip to the Holy Land in 2018. And I placed that order, and then I stumbled across a Christmas junk journal and fell in love with it. I ordered that, and when we got home from our trip, the Christmas junk journal was already here. And I was addicted. That was all it took. And so the journal for our Holy Land trip, it was coming from out of the country, and I didn't realize it was going to take so long to get to us. And once I saw the Christmas journal, oh my gosh, I just was beside myself. I was so excited. But I waited and waited, and finally Christmas was over, and beginning of January rolled around, and there was still no sign of the journal I had ordered. And I had a whole box of stuff that we had gotten in the Holy Land, in Jerusalem and in Bethlehem and whatnot. And I couldn't contain myself any longer. So I started, and this is my very first journal ever that I made. So you're going to see a lot of, I guess, probably mistakes in it, but I don't see the mistakes. I just see so much love. Anyway, it was my first one. I didn't even know what standard measurements were supposed to be. So I just got a very large book that I bought at one of our local thrift stores and hollowed it out by watching a video, and that was all it took. So I don't even know really what these measurements are, but let's look real quick. It's like 8 3/4 inches by 12 inches. the spine, it ended up being 4 signatures. Again, I didn't even at that time really understand what a signature was. But anyway, it's 2.5 inches. It probably should have been 4, but I didn't know. So anyway, just kind of a quick, I said in an earlier video about how when I do journals, I kind of do a combination of glue book with journaling space and photos. So I just wanted to kind of just, do a quick kind of flip through. As you can see, I went crazy with all the, I call it garnishings, but I went crazy with all these embellishments. It was just, oh, I was hooked. And again, it was my first one, so that's how it turned out. And there's from the bottom. But you'll see photos in here, so some of them is going to be just, silly photos, but it is what it is. But I truly made, this is a piece of a bag. I literally just laid this in here the other day when I was looking through it. But this was a piece of one of our shopping bags of the hotel that we stayed at. And I used the other part of the bag in the journal. So eventually my book that I had originally ordered did come in. And I did use the book plate that the lady had made on that journal. Oh my gosh, that journal was way small. No way it would have worked anyway, but again, I didn't know that at the time. But I had never owned a sewing machine. I had never, I had not crafted in years. So again, here I was, just a wing and a prayer and a passion. So the front of the journal, I did use this that the other lady had made for the actual journal that I had ordered to do this. And then I used the button trim around here. This is actually a picture I printed out that we took while we were there. I'm not going to sit and describe every page. I just want to kind of give you an overview. So yeah, on this page, very first page, I did a little pocket and just slid some photos in here. But I also slid, we had gotten some of one of the olive trees. That it was a very significant olive tree. There was a whole story to it, and I tell the story here and in my actual journaling. But there is a story to this actual olive tree, which I won't get into all of that. It's a beautiful story though. And I just put it into a cellophane packet that actually something else that we had bought while we were there came in. So I put that in there and just slid it in here. And this actually folds open, and this is my journaling, with all my beautiful handwriting. I actually got crooked right here, so I just added a ribbon. Again, I'm new at it, and obviously this is a picture of me and my husband. And then Gail Agostinelli had done a demo on doing these little tuck spots. So I just put a little tag here that says welcome to our journey. And there it begins. Everything, this is, I forget what they call these, but we went to the prayer wall and they required the men to wear these. And so this is the one my husband wore when we went to the prayer wall. And a gentleman was, there, and he would tie a piece of yarn basically around your wrist. And he would say he was doing a blessing for you. And so we saved those, and I just attached those there. Again, this is just photographs that I've attached to the book of me and my husband. This right here is actually another little cellophane packet that I've attached, and it's got actual stones from the Southern Steps, which, is a place where Jesus stood. So anyway, that's got the little stones there. And then we were stuck at the airport in Jerusalem for about 10 hours waiting on our flight, and we bought a deck of cards at the gift shop, and we sat there and we thought it was going to be a horrible, sitting and waiting for our flight, and we ended up having the best time. We just sat there at the airport and talked to people, and we played cards, and these are the little Jerusalem cards. This is one of the cards from the deck of cards, but all the cards had different pictures on them. So I put these in all throughout the book. This was, our room number at the Olive Tree Hotel, and this was just the little envelope. But I just incorporated every little, this was the bag. Remember I was showing you earlier the piece of the bag. I actually put it in as one of the pages. I did tape it really well. Anyway, and this is just kind of, this was, our tour guide and our bus driver, and Then I put these pockets in and just stuffed them full. These were our name badges from our tour. And this is the story of the olive tree and what it signifies. I know I need to go faster. I'm trying, guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all, sorry. Anyway, this is the Lord's Prayer in the original language. And then, you know, more of the memories there. So this book really does not have a lot of, I guess, what we would call ephemera, because the ephemera is actually all of the keepsakes and the photographs from the trip. So anyway, a bookmark, it just is, this is what I do with mine. So mine end up turning into glue books and photo albums and journaling space. This just tells the meaning of the Jerusalem cross. Again, more stuff from that first hotel. We were walking down the street and this was literally a piece of trash on the street there when we were going to the Southern Steps. I picked it up. We were all laughing. Everybody was laughing at me because I literally was picking up trash off of the street, which I think most of you all can relate to. But I put all of our extra little change that we came back with in that. You know, this is the cross of Jerusalem where Jesus was born. Just, as you can see, it's just full of memories. Silly stuff that means something to me. This was one of the water bottles we brought back water from the Sea of Galilee and the Jordan River, and we used little sterilization cups for the water, but on the Sea of Galilee we had a sterilization cup, but it didn't have very much in it because it had actually leaked, and so we ended up using a water bottle, and this is just the lid from that water bottle that I put there. This is a pen from where we went to the Holocaust Memorial there in Jerusalem, and we got a pen, and so I just put that there, you know, indicating that. And I'm forgetting this. This is all the journaling. You know, all throughout here, I've got the journaling in here, you know, talking about what these different photos represent, and so this is just journaling space all throughout, and you'll see as I flip through. I'm trying to hurry. I know this is just some of the quotes from the Holocaust Memorial. You can see how raw that edge is on that paper when I made this pocket. Looking at it now, I think I probably could have done that so differently now that I'm, you know, had watched more videos and learned how to do stuff, I guess a little bit, you know, quote unquote better. But I love how raw it looks, so I'm happy. And I guess that's what it's all about. Anyway, more pockets. This pocket actually flips out into journaling space right there. So this is a lot more journaling space where that flips out, and of course a pocket there. And more photographs and just treasures we bought from little vendors on the road as we were walking through. And then this is where we stayed with a family in Bethlehem and had supper with them, and we had pictures. And anyway, more journaling space. This wasn't supposed to be a video talking about my trip. I'm sorry. It was supposed to be showing you how I've utilized my book. The other thing I did when we went to the garden tomb, we actually got a book, and I didn't want to cut this book up. First of all, I was trying to kind of keep this journal in the order of what we did on our trip, just because my actual journaling, you know, had went into the order of day 1, day 2, you know, and so forth. So I wanted to keep this together and not spread it all out through the journal. So I literally attached this entire booklet into the center of one of my signatures. I don't know if that's a proper thing to do when journaling, but it was proper for me. So there it is. And then this was a bag from one of the gift shops. I actually used it as a little page, I guess. Not a page, but a pocket in my journal. This is me getting kissed by a camel. Silly. We actually brought back a rock from the Jordan River. I'm sorry, the Sea of Galilee. And that's me just kind of pointing to the rock that I was going to bring home. And obviously the rock wouldn't fit in the journal. And this is my husband just kind of looking out over the Sea of Galilee. And whatnot. But anyway, this is one of the other hotels we stayed in the Pocket, you know, talking with all of our room stuff, and he had our room keys and the luggage stickers and everything. This is just more space for attaching the different things to. More of the cards, tickets of where we went to Masada, just, y'all, so many memories. And this just kind of shows how useful these are in just holding our memories. And I guess that's kind of what I wanted to show is just that, you know, my very first journal, and you can see how passionate I am now because I really believe in these. These are just a perfect way to hold photographs and journals and memories, just anything, the room keys from another hotel. Just, gosh, how would I have ever done this other than just putting it all in a box? More journaling space here. This actually has another booklet in it from a map of Israel, of where Jesus walked at during his life here on earth. And this also has a book in it. So see, these books, I just did not want to. I could have, you know, torn them up and disassembled them and put them throughout my signatures, but I didn't want to. So this is how I just made all of that work. We went to the Dead Sea. This is my husband floating in the Dead Sea. This was actually a bar of soap that we got right there at the Dead Sea. So we came home and we used the soap, but I saved part of the packaging. That's another thing where my husband's like, you're literally saving trash. And I'm like, no, it's treasures. So anyway, okay, now this really shows how much trash I saved. We joked, the tour guide joked the entire time. Everything in Jerusalem he would say was the best in the world. It was just kind of a joke. We would see, you know, a fruit tree, and he said, oh, these are the best oranges in the world, or oh, this is. So we stopped at this stop, and this was still very early on in the trip where we actually kind of believed him when he would say stuff like that. And then we started catching on that he was being funny. But we stopped at this one place, and that was where we saw the camels. And anyway, he said, oh, this is the world's best coffee at this place. And it was a convenience store, basically, is what it was. And it was not the world's best coffee, but at that point we were gullible and we were thinking, oh wow, we got to try the coffee. So my husband runs in and gets a cup of the coffee. I squished the cup down and saved the cup. I know, it was weird, but I won't justify that, but I did it. Anyway, welcome to my weirdness, but more memories. This was a bag from one of the gift shops here. Actually, this was the bag from where we got baptized in the Jordan River, and they put our certificates and stuff down in this bag. So I attached this bag in here and just filled it full of stuff, silly stuff probably most of y'all would think are trash, but it was stuff that meant something to me. More journaling space, and I actually put Mod Podge over my journaling because I didn't want it to ever, I guess, fade. It's just, so it's kind of, all of my journaling pages are kind of stiff because I did Mod Podge over them. And I don't know if that was the right thing to do, but it works for me. More journaling. This has our full names on it, sorry. But these are our certificates of getting baptized. No, this was our pilgrimage certificates here. And this was my husband getting baptized in the Jordan River. Yay. And this was us fixing to get baptized. And then this was us right after we got baptized. Yes, wet hair and all. Just a beautiful trip. These are our certificates of getting baptized back here in the back. And then the end of it. So anyway, this might be a long video. I hope I didn't make it too long or too boring for you. I just really felt the need to share this with you all so that y'all could kind of see a little bit about who I am and how my passion started for this, this craft or this art. I wouldn't change a thing about this, even though now I look at it and I do see where I made a lot of mistakes. You know, things I should have and could have done differently had I only known. But I wouldn't change a thing at this point. I'm very proud of this. Obviously, this one will never go up for sale. In fact, my son and my daughter both, you know, fight over it. Oh, one day this is going to be mine, and you know, jokingly. So anyway, this is my first journal. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. And thank y'all so much for I guess humoring me and watching my video. And thanks so much. Y'all be blessed.